Hey everyone, Zeddy here today with a brand new video, and when I'm streaming over at twitch.tv/Zeddy every Tuesday through Saturday, I commonly get asked this same question every day, multiple times a day, in fact. And I thought, you know what? Let's make a video to cover this question. What is it? What deck should I play to get Legend in Standard? And I also get it in Wild. We'll go over the Wild decks on my next video, which will be tomorrow, so make sure to drop that subscribe button, hit notifications so you can get ready for that one as well if you want those Wild decks. But today we're going to go over what the best decks to play to get Legend, at least relatively easy. The first four decks we're going to go over are pretty straightforward and relatively easy to play and have pretty simple strategies, but we'll put one spicier deck at the end to make things, a little bit more fun if you're looking for a really good deck that's a little bit trickier to play but still can get you to that sweet, sweet Legend card back. Alright, so let's start off with the most popular deck on ladder right now, and for good reason. It's just very powerful, wins a lot of games, and it gets a lot of people to Legend, and that would be Dragon Hunter. This deck was recently put over the top by Galakron's Awakening, the new adventure content, with the addition of Rottenest Drake, a 5-mana 6/5 dragon, a battle cry, destroy a random enemy minion. Just super powerful card, like insane. It's a dragon, crazy stats, does good stuff. You have your Stormhammer, which gives you infinite damage effectively as long as you have a dragon on the board. You have your good early game with Blazing Battle Mage, Dwarven Sharpshooter, Fairy Dragon, Face Stalker, which allows you to cheat out secrets. The deck is very aggressive. It can cheat out 0-mana 3/3s with Frenzied Fellwing as long as you're doing 4 damage, and well, you can easily do that on turn 2. You are a hunter after all. That hero power can really get you there. As long as you got one minion on board and that hero power, you're getting your 0-mana 3/3s out. So it's a relatively straightforward deck to play. You're going to mulligan for your early game. You're going to mulligan for Frenzied Fellwing, which can let you cheat that minion out. And you have your finisher of Leroy Jenkins, everyone's favorite charge minion, and just consistent damage with Stormhammer, and even with Dragonbane you can get an explosive 5 damage. So just a very solid, aggressive deck. Pretty much an aggro deck. Has a couple of late game cards, if you want to call them that, with the big ol' whelps, which lets you cycle since your deck doesn't have too much. But really solid deck. You want to get Legend, I definitely recommend it. Check it out. Really good deck. The next deck we're going to go over is Galakron Rogue. I mean, this has been the deck since Galakron Shaman got nerfed back in early January, and it's just not really showing any signs of slowing down. Pretty much every deck we're going to cover is trying to counter Galakron Rogue, so you might think, well, maybe I should play it, because, well, yeah, it'll get you your Legend. I personally hit Legend on NA and EU this season playing Galakron Rogue, as it's just a very, very strong, consistent deck. It's obviously built around Galakron, which is their 7-mana hero card, which, when fully invoked, will draw you 4 0-mana cards, which is insanely powerful. And you have a super strong early game with your Pharaoh Cat, your Evil Miscreant, which gets you a bunch of lackeys. You have removal with Eviscerate Sap, Seal of Fate, Rush minions with Faceless Corruptor. Some people run Snip Snap and Ziliax. The list we're looking at right here doesn't quite do that, but you can opt to take out maybe Bullies out of the deck if you're running that, or Skyvateer. It just depends on what you're seeing. I personally like the Snip Snap and Ziliax build. Just gives you early presence, and the healing can be nice against all these pesky Dragon Hunters and other aggressive decks, which we will be talking about at least one more, because yes, it pays to go face. So Galakron Rogue, super strong deck. Not the most straightforward to pilot. It's not the easiest deck, so if you're looking for an easier deck, it's not necessarily the one. You still, play your Togwoggle with a lackey, get a bunch of 0-mana cards and win the game, or cheat out an early Edwin Van Cleef for giant stat line on turns 3 or 4 or 2. That can also win you the game, but for your consistent win rate, you'll have to definitely navigate your combo turns pretty well. So if you're looking for a very powerful deck that, with a little bit of practice, can get you insane win rates, it's definitely one to take a look at. Next, we have Galakron Warrior, yet another Galakron deck. Turns out Galakrons are pretty good, as long as they're not Priest. This deck is a very explosive deck, very damage-driven. The whole point of the Invoke is +3 attack for your hero. And with the recent addition of Bomb Wrangler from the most recent and Risky Skipper from Galakron's Awakening, it's really helped put this deck over the top. You have your other good one drops, Town Crier, which is obviously very strong. And you can choose to either run a charge package with Galakron Elite or Leroy, or just go for full board control, go with Rush, and go with just early game one drops, typically Eternium Rover, or the 1 mana 1/3 mech that gains you armor is typically used rather than charge, just to basically win the game on the board, win with your hero power and tempo. We've seen, I believe Monsanto got top 2 with that build, no charging, so it totally depends on what you're running into, but either build is very viable. You can hard cycle through your deck with Battle Rage, depending if you run that card. You have your Acolyte of Pain, and again, Frenzied Fellwing shows up, another mana cheat, 0 mana 3/3. And this deck is very curve-centric. You do have some pretty cool plays you can do with Risky Skipper, which is the 1 mana 1/3 that deals damage to all minions when you play another minion. So you can do some really cool stuff with Acolytes and Bomb Wranglers. It's definitely a deck that wants to go face, but you need to fight for board at all times. You don't want to just go face. You definitely want to keep board control. So it does curve out to 7 mana, so you need to get there, and you're not going to get there by just going face. So very powerful deck. Pretty linear to play, although the Risky Skipper stuff and Battle Rage turns definitely leave some nuance there, but definitely a deck that I think most people could take to Legend. Just have to get a little practice in and keep at it. So definitely another very strong deck. Next on the list, we have Highlander Hunter. This will be the first of 2 Highlander decks I'm going to mention in this video. And I mean, it's very similar almost to Dragon Hunter. It's a deck that wants to curve out. It runs, it runs the Stormhammer, it runs the Rottennest Drake, it runs all of the same cards for the most part, except one copy. Well, what do you fill in the gaps in? Well, Zephyrus, insanely powerful card, as we all know. Getting yourself that perfect card can be pretty optimal. Whether it be damage removal, whatever you need, it's there for you. And then you also have Dino Tamer Brand, 7 mana 2/4. Summon a King Crush on turn 7. And heck, you can cheat that out with Escape Mana Saber, one of the new recent additions to the deck from Galakron's Awakening. 4 mana 3/5 Beast. When you attack, you gain an extra crystal. If you got the coin, you play this on 4. You attack on 5, coin out Bran, and oh boy, you're going to be having some good times. And of course, Dragon Queen Alexstrasza is the other Highlander card to put the deck over the top. It's just a very, very solid deck. Play on curve, push damage when you can, and use your finishers with Leroy, with Dino Tamer Brand, Zephyrus, and you'll get there. It's a super strong deck and relatively linear and straightforward to play. So it's probably I'd say it's a little bit of one of the easier side decks. Just play on curve and just finish your opponent. So if you're looking for a bit of an easier one, that's definitely very powerful and very fun to play for sure. It's always fun to play these powerful cards. Definitely give a take at Highlander Hunter. I definitely recommend it. And last but not least, a deck that doesn't have the highest win rate out there, so this is more of like I was saying, fun factor deck, is Reno Mage, Highlander Mage. This deck has seen some very strong performance on ladder. Papa Jason's done very well, APX Void have all done very well in Legend ladder, and to hit Legend with it is probably a bit trickier, especially you're going to be queuing probably a lot of Dragon Hunter, which like to smork, but if you're looking for a bit of a challenge, but a really fun deck that really rewards good play and, can do insanely broken stuff like Luna's Pocket Galaxy, Reno the Rectologist, Kalagos, and the new hero card that was recently introduced in Galakron's Awakening, Reno the Magnificent? Reno the Amazing? Make that board poof. Who doesn't want to make things poof? So it's a really cool deck, very strong, but it's not necessarily the easiest to pilot and might not get you there that quickly, but stick to it, learn the deck, get those high rolls in, get the Pocket Galaxy out on turn 5 with that Mana Saber, and all of a sudden you're looking pretty good. So those are 5 decks that I think you could, the average person probably could pick up, play, and get themselves a Legend. I'm going to have deck codes and links to the HS Replay site down below. I use HS Replay every single day I play Hearthstone. I've been a premium member for nearly 2 years, and it's a great resource if you're looking for mulligan guides, like you're not sure how to play these decks, go to HS Replay, check out the mulligan guide. it'll just tell you what you should keep. It's just fantastic service. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. It's just a site I've been using and I use every single day, and I highly recommend it. Don't blindly follow it. Don't blindly follow the numbers, but use it as a guideline. And I mean, it's helped so many people do insane things on ladders. So deck code's below, HS Replay, check it out. Yeah, so tomorrow we will have another video where we will take a look at 5 easy wild decks to hit legend with. And I hope you can join me for that. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And have a good day and stay salty, my friends.